everybody. It's your podcast, Sista Lisa, and thanks for tuning in. I hope you're ready to do some boot stomping today because I have the talented country singer, songwriter, and musician, Trey Calloway in the house. Hey, Trey, how you doing?
Hello, Lisa. It's good to meet you, and thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for joining me today. I've been very excited about talking with you. You've been in the music industry for quite some time. And in fact, I read by the time you were 10 years old, you were already a seasoned singer. Tell us
I
about that.
I like to say I was seasoned. I think I thought I was seasoned more than anything. So I grew up singing in church. My father was a Pentecostal evangelist. For folks that might not know, watching at home, that is like a traveling preacher. He would go and preach revivals, and I would go to the different churches with him, and I would sing. And that caught me the music bug. I was probably around 6 years old when I started doing that. And first song I ever sang in front of a crowd was Angels Among Us by the band Alabama. And I remember my mom and dad arguing about in the kitchen whether it was country or whether it was gospel, whether it was gospel enough to be sang in church. But it went off without a hitch. And I've been singing ever since. So I started singing country probably when I was about 13 and been doing that ever since.
Wow, were you in a band when you were in junior high or high school?
So the first band, I love talking about this. Thank you for asking me about this. The first band I was ever in, we were called Widowmaker, and we were trying to be a Southern rock band. We were trying to be like awesome, tough Southern rockers, and we were called Widowmaker, like the 6-shooter from the Wild West. And we played our middle school talent show. We played Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. And we won.
Love it.
And we won.
Oh, yeah.
And we won the talent show. But we didn't even have a bass player at the time. We had no bass player. It was just, I didn't play guitar yet. And it was just Zach, my buddy, playing lead guitar, and my best friend from school, Elle, playing drums. And then we had my buddy Robbie playing acoustic guitar. And we had no bass guitar. But we rocked.
I love
it. Nobody has asked me about that. That's a great question, Lisa. Thank you for letting me have that memory.
So I love the fact that you perform Leonard Skinner because, that band, it is timeless to no end. I mean, I think it's so amazing how that song that you talked about, as well as many others from Leonard Skinner, is still as popular as it was when I was a kid growing up.
No doubt. I heard I walked into a place downtown, and the band was playing Tuesday's Gone, and I hadn't heard Tuesday's Gone in years, and they really rocked it. Yeah, Skinner's timeless. Anybody who plays country music nowadays has to take some kind of influence from those Southern rock bands. 38 Special, Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet, all of those bands. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, we're talking about these old time rockers, and they are unbelievable. I don't care if you're talking about Mick Jagger or Willie Nelson. These guys and ladies are performing, at the age of 70, 80, 90. They're traveling and touring. What do you make of this? I mean, how do you explain this phenomena, really?
I think I know Willie Nelson's secret.
What's
but
it?
I can't say it on air. But honestly, it's a testament to just, I'd say, good genetics. I think also I think the music keeps you young. I really do believe in the power of music. I think it's because these guys still have something really legitimate to say. Willie's one of my heroes. And I love the Rolling Stones too, but just being a country music performer, Willie's always been one of my favorites. It doesn't get any better. He's one of the greatest songwriters to ever walk the face of the earth. One of the coolest dudes to ever live. Hopefully I'll get to meet him one day. That would be a bucket list for me. So I think it's a testament to music and like I said, a secret ingredient that Willie swears by.
Yeah, that's hilarious. On the flip side, though, some of these old timers, have given up drugs, alcohol, and I think that they realized that that is not really the way to, take care of your body in a very tough, heavy industry where your body takes a toll. Why
Oh,
add to it? I know that you two are not drinking, is what I've
yeah.
heard. Tell us a little bit
I,
about that.
I believe August will be 3 years that I haven't drank any alcohol. I just, it wasn't like a problem for me, honestly. And I kind of sometimes tell people like I may at some point or another, start having a beer here and there, that kind of thing. For me, drinking just never helped me get close to my goals, what I really want, which is success in the music industry. I do joke around and say that one good thing came out of drinking for me, which was giving me the courage to go up and talk to my now wife, Raina. So, who is from Ohio. I got to give a shout out to my Ohio baby. She's from the great state of Ohio, which is where I'll be next week. Excited to play some shows up in Ohio. So, yeah, for me, it was just like right now I've got blinders on with my career, and alcohol just kind of gets in the way. I think one day when I have some success, I might sit back and say, "All right, I'm going to have a Corona or two."
Yeah,
But I did. I really just I made the choice to quit.
good, good.
I quit like that. I just put it down. I said this is something I can revisit in the future. But a lot of country artists are getting sober. It's pretty cool to see, and I'm glad that they're advocating for it. But we also are in a business where drinking is a big part of it. Being around people who are drunk never bothers me. Matter of fact, the drunker people are a lot of times the more fun I have at my shows. So
Yeah,
it's a catch-22.
yeah, yeah. And, I- I'm always amazed when I hear Alice Cooper, another old great, talk about,
Love it.
yeah, I mean, he turned his life around completely when he was younger, did crazy, crazy, not only on stage, but in his life. And, the faith really played a major part in his change, in his attitude. And, it's fascinating. I encourage anyone to check out his bio. It's unbelievable.
That is really cool. I'm a big Alice Cooper fan. I can tell if you like Alice Cooper, then you probably like Ozzy too.
Yeah, and he just
Did you
is
see Ozzy go?
retiring.
Well,
That-
you say he did his last performance,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's a big moment. I've always been a secret metalhead. I love country, but heavy metal and hard rock's always been a second favorite to mine. I love rock and roll and funk and all kinds of music, but I've always been a big secret metalhead. So it was sad to see Ozzy go, but what a legend, man! What
yeah,
a legend.
yeah, absolutely. So speaking of your lovely wife being growing up in Ohio, whereabouts did she grow up?
So she is from a town called Greene, which is right near Cleveland, about probably 45 minutes, I think, about from Cleveland. Her family is originally from a little tiny town called Mogador, which is like a map dot. I mean, literally, you blink and you pass through it. Great little town. I love going up there and visiting, and I'm going to be up there next week playing some shows. I think we're playing the Mogador Festival. I'm playing at Jolene's, and then I'm playing at the Dusty Armadillo, which I'm really looking forward to all three of those shows.
Yeah, I think I'm going to
I'll
check.
be on a little tour.
Yeah, I think I'm going to check you out when you're in Ravenna. That's not too far from Cleveland. It's, I think, kind of close to Kent State area.
Yep.
And I hope to see you.
Are you a Buckeye or a Kent State fan?
Oh, I mean, I know your wife is a Ohio State Buckeye
Oh
fan.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So here, I'm definitely, and I had to ask you, have you and your wife ever gone to an Ohio State football game?
So I have not been. She's been to a bunch of them. I have not been to an Ohio State game. I have been to the studio, or not to the studio. I'm so, musician brain talking about studio. I've been to the stadium. So it was her graduation from college during the pandemic. They had postponed it and not had her graduation ceremony. So they waited a couple of years and finally did it. And I got to go with her. We were dating at the time, and I got to go with her. And it's a cool stadium. I will give it. They've got a cool stadium up there.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're an Alabama fan, is that right?
I am an Alabama fan, so
Bama.
I'm from North Carolina. It's a funny story. I like talking about it, but I'm from North Carolina. but we don't really have much of a football team to brag on. Now, basketball, North Carolina all day long. I love my Tar Heels, but um, Alabama and I have family from Alabama too, so it makes sense. My dad was raised an Alabama fan. He always grew up pulling for the Tide, so he raised me to be an Alabama fan. And yeah, that's made for some pretty interesting dinner conversations between my wife and my dad, because my dad, though he did not go to Alabama, he's Crimson Tide all the way, and my lovely wife is very Buckeyes all the way. So that kind of puts me in the middle sometimes, you know.
I love
You can't be married. You can't be married to somebody who went to Ohio State without pulling for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And us Ohioans love our sports.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's
It's
awesome.
a good energy.
It is.
The sports energy in Ohio is really, really cool.
It is. Let's talk about your music. I am amazed by you. There's over 40 singles, including EPs that you've released. You have had 2 albums released. One, your first in 2016, Carolina Man, and then in 2024, Wanted Man. And it's incredible the amount of variety. Each song is so different. And I really am so happy you're on the show, because I want people to discover your music if they have not in the, previous. Please, listeners, check him out. You are going to be in for a treat. Real country twang songs with a story behind each and every one. And tell us about your very beginnings, especially with your first album, your debut album. What was that process like for you?
So I love talking about that first album, and I'm proud of it, though it is a very raw album. I solo wrote everything on that first album. It was literally just the inner workings of my mind on paper, and then we went to a studio in Nashville and had some of the legends. We had Brent Mason and Buddy Hyatt and Lonnie Wilson, all session players that have played on any like 90s country song that we love. Brent's just about on every single one of those. He's a legend in Nashville. And so that was just a young kid who didn't really know anything about recording yet. And it was like, hey, kid, you go over there and sit in the corner, and we'll call you when it's time to sing. But I solo wrote everything, so it was very raw. A lot of the songs on that album are well over 4 minutes, which if you live in Nashville and you write songs, that's a big no. We don't like 4-minute songs in Nashville, which is fine. I like a good 3-minute song now that I know that punchy and catchy is how you get people's attention with punchy and catchy songs. Even if it's a ballad, it needs to be catchy. So. That first album is just very raw. And then when we did the Wanted Man album last year, that was the first time I'd ever co-written. Those were the first songs that I'd ever co-written. And there were a couple of solo writes on that one, but most of them were written with my buddies in Nashville, a lot of my songwriter friends in Nashville. And so that album is very much more polished, and like this is a product that I would put on the radio. I would send this song to a DJ and say, hey, you got to listen to this song. And it streamed really, really well. It was the album that started to kind of get me noticed a little bit. And now we're working on a new one that already I did 2 songs in the studio yesterday. I'm really excited about this album. I hope and pray that this is the one that really finally puts it over the edge for me. I think it's going to be. I'm manifesting those good vibes. I think it's going to do well. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this new music. But just recording is like a muscle. The more you work it out, the better you get at recording. You understand that, hey, this is not going to sound good. This is going to sound good. And you learn who you are as an artist. And I think it's taken me maybe a little bit longer than some artists to figure out who I am as an artist. But I'm okay with that. I try not to compare myself to anybody. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I love music. I mean, this is what I live for. Besides being a father and a husband, this is what I was made to do. So
Yeah.
It's been a good ride. It's been a
Yeah.
good ride.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think your son will follow in your footsteps? I know he's still young, like 10 or 11.
He's 10. He'll be 11 in October. He wants to be a rapper. That's what he tells me.
Okay.
So I don't know, but honestly, you know what? If he finds a music that he loves, and it's a different generation that he's growing up in. You know, pop and hip hop is. I mean, it was popular when I was a kid too. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like you can be anything you want nowadays. You know, he can be a rapper if he wants to be a rapper. For a long time, he told me he wanted to be a professional YouTuber, and I was like, well, you got to find something you want to YouTube about, buddy. So he's definitely musical. He sings really well, and he is a pretty good rapper. He played a song for me. Well, he didn't play it. He sang it for me. This was about 6 months ago. He sang a song to me in the car that he had written, and I didn't believe him. And this was before, like, ChatGPT kind of started becoming real prevalent. So he didn't use ChatGPT to help him write this song. He was like, man, he wrote this. And the rhyme scheme was phenomenal, the syncopation and his lyrics, and he knew where to put this rhyme and this rhyme. And that's hard to do. It's hard to learn. The craft of writing songs is not an easy craft. That's why the AI has a hard time with it.
Yeah.
AI can write you a piece of journalism all day long about something that happened in the world, but it can't write you a catchy song that really means something. You know what I mean? Yet, who's to say what will happen in the future?
Yeah.
But he's really impressed me. He's a good kid.
Good.
I'm proud of him. His name's Cash.
Oh, I love
after
it.
Johnny Cash.
I love that. Well,
We named him Cash.
Yeah, Cash, good luck to you with your rapping and
when you're rapping. I said he needs to be Cash Money. That needs to be his rap name. If he does become a rapper, he needs to be Cash Money.
Yeah. What I think is nice for Cash to know about is the other side of what it looks like to have a full band behind a singer. Because like you said, this generation is different. I took my nephew to see Bob Seger a couple years back. This kid was in college, never saw a live performance. He has seen many rappers, but they're not on stage with a full band. And I'm like, what? Huh? And
they usually bring a DJ and a hype man, and there's just 3 of them on stage.
He was blown away. I mean, I think too, like we were talking earlier about these old timers, still popular with 2 generations after, like, because I think it's so, different and novel to them.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's a great point, Lisa. That's a great point. I think that we have an epidemic in this country, not this country, the world really, of music has become so easy to produce, to create a song, that it's like when something becomes easy to do, it cheapens it. Those old records those guys would live in the studio. They would live in the studio and they would eat, sleep, breathe music nonstop. And their music is reflected, the passion and the creativity is reflected in that those guys were just holed up in a studio, dedicating their time to it. And really, like, I listened to Dust in the Wind by Kansas the other day, and you don't hear songs like that anymore. You just don't hear songs like that anymore. If that song came on the radio today, I'm not even sure that people would listen to it, because it is a masterpiece for me.
It is.
But those guys it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I hope we get back to that authenticity.
Yeah. And I think too, why you are so popular as well with your country music, you have that traditional sound, and you honky tonk, and your storytelling. And I want to just say, let's kick off the show with snippet number 1, because talk about a catchy song that you just released. I absolutely love She Don't Break It. So let's play She Don't Break It by Trey, Calloway, and when we come back, let's talk more music.
I've been picking up the pieces of what once was barely beaten and broken in two, but the soul heart is feeling brand new. She don't break it like she used to. I don't stay up when I go to sleep at night. When that sad song comes on, my heart don't even mind. She don't break it like she used to. The hurt don't hurt me quite as strong. After all the hell it's been through, the pain don't hang on all night long. I've been picking up the pieces of what once was barely beaten and broken in two, but this whole heart is feeling brand new. She don't break it like she used to.
So, what a great song. I absolutely love that song. I mean, it's, again, that pure honky tonk country vibe, very authentic. And congratulations on that new release.
Thank you, Lisa. I love that song. I wrote it with Terry McBride and Brandon Hood, my new producer. And Terry was in a band called McBride and the Ride and wrote a bunch of hits for Brooks and Dunn. He wrote Play Something Country and he wrote Cowgirls Don't Cry, and he's written a million other great songs. So I was honored that he was willing to write one with me. We've written two now, and the other one's really good too. I'll probably end up recording that one as well.
Wonderful. Speaking of recording, I did see your Facebook post today about you recording in that magnificent recording studio in Nashville called the Castle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I looked at it and I'm like, I got to ask him about this. What is it like recording in a castle that with a huge history? You got to check it out, everybody. Check out the history of this building. It's phenomenal. What was it like for you and like for you currently to be recording in that studio?
It's insane. I'd never been there before until yesterday, and I didn't look it up. Stupidly on my part, I didn't look it up. I just said, "Oh, it's called the Castle." They call recording studios all kinds of crazy names. But I was like, it's a literal castle.
It is.
You pull up, and it was Al Capone used it as a moonshine, some kind of base to like run his shine out of back in the 20s or 30s or whatever. Man, it's crazy. And you walk in there, and everything's very old looking. It's aesthetically very 70s, very 80s looking inside, but it's so cool. It's so cool. I've been in a lot of great recording studios. I can't say, I don't know if I want to say, oh, it's my favorite studio. I don't want to make the other studios jealous, but it is a fantastic studio, and the sound in there is phenomenal. I don't want to talk about these two new songs we did yesterday, but we made some magic yesterday, I think. Well, we did some good stuff yesterday. There's more great music to come, Lisa.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to hear it. I want to close out the show with another one of your hits, the song She Misses Being Mrs. And what a title. Tell us about that song and what inspired you to record it.
So I wrote that song with my buddies Aaron Loy and Jim Hawkins, two great writers. Love them guys to death. The song is about a war widow. The song is about a boy and a girl who fall in love in high school, and he always dreams of being a soldier. And he goes to war and unfortunately does not come home. And it's about her day-to-day life of being a war widow. And she misses everything about him. Most importantly, she misses being his missus. So that hook was actually given to Aaron by a mysterious stranger on an airplane who told Aaron that he was always wanted to be a songwriter, but never got the time. Work and family and life just got in the way. So he said, you take this hook, I've always had it, and you write something. And we came up with the war widow idea. We came up with making it about a military family. And it just took a life of its own. And we slipped it in. We weren't going to record it, but Memorial Day was coming up, and we wanted to have a song that was dedicated to that. And it was fate, I believe, that I wrote that song. So we called Brandon, my producer, and said, "Hey, can we hop in the studio?" And we did this really stripped down version of it. He didn't even call a full band. It was just acoustic guitar, bass, drums, and piano. Gordon Mote on piano, which is, if you know anything about the session guys here in Nashville, Gordon Mote is another legend. I mean, and Bruce Boughton as well plays steel on it, and he's another legend. Brandon's really breaking out the big guns for this project we're working on. We had Tom Bukovac on the session yesterday, and Bukovac is actually from Cleveland.
Yes.
And he is the guy in Nashville as far as guitar playing goes. So we're really breaking out the big guns with this next album. We're excited about it.
Great. Well, let's close out the show with She Misses Being Mrs. by Trey Calloway. And again, thanks for being on the show. I want everyone to check out Trey's social media. You can hear his music on all streaming platforms. Check out his website for where he's playing. And again, thank you. We're going to close out the show with your hit song. And that's a wrap.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
His second tour, they came under fire. Not every hero comes home. Now she misses his heart, his tender touch, the warmth of his arms, wrapping her up, the memory of every smile, and 1,000 goodnight kisses. But most of all, she just misses being Mrs.